Hey, this is Manifest, and you're listening to the I'm a Fighter podcast. We want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never fails. A fighter is someone who never quits. You see, it's not about how you start, but how you finish. What's up, fighter? Just going for a drive here, and I want to talk to you about, are you underestimating what success takes? Because I know I did. Over 16 years, maybe 17 years ago, I quit my job. I had an IT job. I was working at this company called Canadian, great company, construction company. I was the IT guy there, the IT manager. I was making great money. Just got married. I was living at home before that, but doing great. Was good at my job. I enjoyed it. But then I got offered this record deal, and I was always wanting to pursue music. I wanted the dream of music. I remember I would be driving to a construction site, and I'd be listening to music and just thinking, why can't I be at a festival right now? Why can't I be over there doing this show and all that stuff? And I'd be talking to some of my buddies who were already touring and playing shows, and I was like, oh, why am I not there yet? You know what I mean? And just wanted it so bad, and I would do anything to try and make it happen, to the point that I believed that I forced it to happen. And I thought just because I signed a record deal that meant that I could quit my job and everything was going to be taken care of and I'd be this rock rap star overnight. Well, let me tell you, I underestimated what it takes to be successful and to do music or become an entrepreneur and do this full time. Even though that I underestimated the amount of work and the effort and the knowledge and the skill set it would take, I still jumped, I still did it, I still made it, and I believe you can too. But I didn't know that I would be sleeping in the car. I didn't know that there are going to be all these, long overnight drives. I didn't know that once I signed to the label, instead of getting paid for my music, I think it was like weekly that this company called CD Baby used to pay me, that the label would only pay me like quarterly. So every 3 months now I had to wait instead of every week. Imagine that. I'm going from working a job where I'm paid comfortable every week, money's deposited in my account, to all of a sudden not getting paid every week, every 3 months. So you better believe I quickly had to wake up and figure out, okay, I gotta get paid. I just got married, and I gotta pay this mortgage, and I gotta pay my bills. And let me tell you, I went over $30,000 in the hole. I kept on swiping that credit card, just thinking things were gonna work out and this was gonna happen. And I remember after about a month and a half of doing this, I quickly, as I saw my credit card go up and my credit line go up, I'd always use my credit line to pay off my credit card at the time. And I remember like, okay, this ain't working, and we need to plug the holes here. You know what I'm saying? And I need to figure out how to make this work, because this music dream is turning into a nightmare right now. This entrepreneurial work for yourself thing, I had to show up for my boss every single day. Well, now I didn't have a boss forcing me to come to work. I was my boss, and I had to show up. And so you got to understand, like, if you're not showing up right now for your boss, if you're not showing up for yourself and working hard on your dream, before work and after work, what makes you think that you're going to show up once you have all that time? You know what I'm saying? I remember one time I said to God, I said, hey, if I can do music full time, then I'll be able to spend more time with you, God, in prayers and devotions. And guess what? Now I had all that time, and what am I doing? Am I in my Bible or in my word? No, I'm just doing whatever, worrying, getting stressed out, right? And so I had a real wake-up call, and I underestimated what success looks like. So if I could go back, not that there's regrets, if I could go back, I would have planned. I would have really done a budget and done a plan, like, how is the money actually going to come in? And make sure that the money is still coming in and I have this new income stream before I leave this income stream. And this is what I did. I had this massive income stream from my job, and I only had a little income stream from music. I left that one. But then, not only this little income stream that I was having, which was basically mostly from playing shows and performing and merch and all that stuff, but I went and signed a record deal who takes 80% or more of any sales that I make before I even see it. I was getting 100% of that money before I signed the deal, and then I gave away 80% of it because I thought that I was going to be a rock rap star. Now, if the label made the pie 10 times bigger than giving them 80% or whatever it is, that's actually still ridiculous. You should never, that's way too much ever. That's a terrible deal, never sign that. But the point is, if you're gonna sign a deal with someone or do any type of deal, contract, partnership, if they're gonna make the pie bigger, then absolutely. You know, you see this all the time with managers and management and different things and agents. You know, if they're gonna get you, you know, a really big deal and they're taking 15-20% and then the pie is bigger, absolutely. But this is the thing, I signed with different people and different situations, managers, that the pie didn't get any bigger. You know, I'm working hard to make this pie grow on myself, and I'm teaming up with you to make it bigger, and it didn't get bigger. And so I had to realize I gotta hustle, I gotta work smarter. And one of the big revelations I had is that, like, I was willing to work hard and figure it out, but I got tired. I got burnt out. In my book, Fighter, I talk about how I even got shingles, and I started to get these little marks on my eyes because I worked myself to the bone, wasn't getting proper sleep, was stressing out, worrying, and it had an impact on my health. Well, now I've learned the 80-20 principle, and I learned that word leverage, and to work smarter, use my mind, invest my time, invest my money so my money is working for me. And so I'm not always trading my time for dollars. It's another thing I talk about in my new book that's coming out, where you got to invest your time so you're not a slave to it. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'll just say, like when I was on the road, you know, I would have my team members and I would get my guys to drive for me so that I could work on higher leveraged activities. Driving a car to the show, that wasn't the best use of my time. And I remember I finally realized, like, look, if you're going to be in the band and you want to, you know, tour with me, you're going to have to drive the majority of the time. I'll drive a little bit, but you got to drive because I got to work on these higher level activities. I got to make sure this machine is going so that you don't lose your job, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to, like, you know, make sure there's bigger things happening that make sure that we move and bring more money into this thing so that we can continue to make a difference and get this message and this movement out here. And so eventually you are going to have to figure out what are those higher level activities that you can do. Instead of trading your time for dollars, you're investing your time and bringing the money in. And that's one of the big shifts I'll talk about in another video, but stop trading your time for dollars. Like, I didn't even know that, you know, by writing songs back in when I wrote my first song in like 1999 or 2000, over 20 years ago, that those songs would continue to generate money for me. I didn't know that. You know, I wasn't doing that. I was just putting in the time, creating things, and that's what an entrepreneur does. He doesn't get paid right now, but he invests in his dream and whatever it is so that one day it will generate him money. I didn't even know that as a music artist, as a musician, that I was writing these songs and one day, you know, they would create money. But that's the idea of creating something, putting the time in to something, delaying the gratification of getting paid to hopefully get paid later on. How does that work in your business? How does that work with your dream? You know, don't think, oh, that's only for the music industry. No, that works in many different industries, real estate, creating, you know, books, so much more. Okay, so I hope that inspires you. Hey, I want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never fails. A fighter is someone who never quits. If you don't got a copy of my book, Fighter, make sure you go get it. Go to manifest.com and grab that up. Love y'all. Keep fighting. Peace.
I'm a hustler, baby. You discuss, wanna cuss you off my TV from the dust.